Christian apologists often exhibit severe cognitive dissonance when it comes to the issue of polygamy in the Bible.
This is Sam, who says, in Exodus, God gave Moses the 10 Commandments, and the 7th commandment is, thou shalt not commit adultery. But men continued to have more than one wife until the end of the Old Testament. My question is, would that still technically be adultery?
It wasn't. They were marrying these women, and they had multiple wives. The kings did, and others did. David had several wives. So that was certainly after Moses had written, and that wasn't considered adultery, which means one of these days, trust me, the laws concerning polygamy are going to be taken out, because the only reason they have laws against polygamy is because it is said it is unbiblical and it is not Christian, and therefore they shouldn't do it.
If it's in the Bible, how the fuck is it unbiblical? Pat seems to be saying that polygamy will eventually be legalized because it's at the end of some slippery slope that we started sliding down when we legalized gay marriage. If fundies don't want American law to look more like Old Testament law, they should stop quoting from Leviticus.
And so if you can have all the other things that the Supreme Court has ruled on, believe me, they're going to say that it's unconstitutional to forbid polygamy. We look at the New Testament, which says a man should have one wife and be content with one wife rather than multiple wives. It's in the New Testament. But that wasn't adultery, because they were married. They got married. I mean, the man looked after the wives. They were his wives, and he had a covenant relationship with all of them. That's in the book.
So is polygamy a bad thing or what? Does Yahweh oppose it or what? I'm totally confused as to what Pat Robertson's actual stance on polygamy is here. Whenever I bring this up to Christian apologists, they always say that the fact that it's in the Bible doesn't mean Yahweh endorses it. I suppose that's true, but in the Old Testament, he doesn't condemn it either. He seems at most to just be indifferent toward it. The strongest criticism of polygamy that the Old Testament makes is in Deuteronomy 17:17, which seems to only warn kings not to take an excessive number of wives, right after saying that they shouldn't have an excessive number of horses, but no specific number is given. Deuteronomy also advises you on how to deal with inheritance if you have kids from multiple wives. It says that you should give the firstborn son all the inheritance rights that he is legally due, even if you want to give that inheritance to a kid born to another wife whom you love more. The firstborn son is not necessarily going to be born to the first wife. If Yahweh had a problem with polygamy, why wouldn't he just say give the inheritance to the first son of the first wife because the children from the other women are all illegitimate? An argument against gay marriage that I often hear is that the arguments for gay marriage, such as the fact that consenting individuals should be allowed to marry whomever they choose, could be used to argue in favor of polygamy. I agree. I highly doubt I'd be interested in a polygamous marriage, but I see no rational basis for prohibiting such marriages.